The video today is about Masdevallia ignea. It won't be exactly a tutorial. I don't have a massive experience with Masdevallias. I have two, I used to have four. This one has been surviving for more than a year, 1 year and a few months I think, but it doesn't look amazing. It's a little bit sad. So I need to address the situation of these plants before I go away. I'll be away for a month. This plant hates drying out, and on this clay pot it's drying out pretty fast. And this plant drinks loads of water, so I need to place it in a pot that it will be happy and moist. So that's what I'm gonna do today. If you're interested in this type of content, please hang with me. I hope you enjoy it. Just as a short introduction, this plant is from the high elevations of Colombia, something between 2,000 to 3,000 above sea level, which is like very tall, which means these plants, they grow in a very humid environment. During summertime, usually these plants, they need around 8% humidity. That's not something that we have in most of our homes. And also it's a cool growing species, cool to intermediate. It needs a lot of ventilation in the root system, plenty of water and humidity in the roots as well. Summertime, partly shade, partly bright, light. So I have it in my cool growing space, that's my toilet. It's only under natural light. Last year I had some blooms, but this year I found that it suffered a lot with the heat wave, and also I went away. It was without any watering. Again, it became really stressed when I went away. With the week without watering, 2 weeks I think. Still survived, but I lost many divisions, and I can see clearly that the plant's not happy. And there is something else. It's potted in terracota. So I thought terracota was really good because it keeps the roots cooler, which is actually true. And the ventilation system is really good with terracota. It's perfect. However, it's drying out very quickly, and I'm not keeping up with their watering, especially with the watering system. So these plants, they've been suffering a lot with the heat. The terracotta is drying out so fast, so I can't keep up with the watering needs of these plants. And I'm going away for almost a month. Imagine, even if I have someone that comes here once a week and pour a little bit of water, it's not enough for this plant, especially now that's warm, hot here in the UK. So I need to do something about it. This video is about that, not exactly about a care tutorial for Masdevallias. I do find them a little bit tricky for home growers. They have specific requirements regarding humidity, lighting, and where to keep them. And I don't have a greenhouse. I do have freezing conditions outside during winter. Usually the temperature here is around 20 degrees Celsius, summer and spring, apart when we have heat waves. So it's not exactly a hot country. I don't think you can grow this plant in a hot country indoors. I think it must be really difficult if you don't have anything specific to create for this type of plants. I do believe you need to have intermediate to cool temperature all over the year. They enjoy their cool nights, so it's good to be in a space where you have different temperature during night time, especially that the temperature drops. They can stand warm days or hot days if during the night we have a more cool environment. So I think you should bear in mind if you decide to try. I think you should try. I think the flowers are so interesting. I love Masdevallia's flowers, especially this one is beautiful. It's the type of bright red that I'm crazy about. So I do believe this plant is perfect for people that want to try something different. But bear in mind that maybe I'm here. So I don't think it's the easiest orchid. It's definitely not for beginners. It's not for every environment. Has a specific requirement and all that. Today what I have to do is remove this plant from this pot, because terracotta pot is not working for the requirements that I have for this plant. I have here a self-watering system that I created in another video. I will link it for you down below. So it was a homemade self-watering pot I created specifically for now that I'm going away. It's a temporary solution. And something important is, if you follow me here, you already know. If you don't follow me here, so I'm gonna tell you now. I do have these plants potted in bark and moss because I live in a cold place. So I usually tend to place more bark than moss inside my pots to aerate more the medium, since it's pretty humid in London and cold. But in this case, specific case, this plant is drying out so fast. I need to do something to improve the way it's growing. So I will pot it in full sphagnum moss. I've never done that. It's like a desperate measure to try to save this plant while I'm away. So I will place full sphagnum moss here with only one layer of bark on top. So how I'm gonna do about it, I will unpot this plant, pot it with moss and a little bit of bark to see what happens, and hopefully it will be fine and it will be alright. I want to take you along because I think it's a fun experience to do, show you how to grow Masdevallias at home in a flat without any special thing. I don't have artificial lighting for this plant. I don't have humidifier. I don't have any particular system or artificial system to keep it alive. It's been hanging there for more than a year, but not very happy. So I try to improve the system and let's see what happens. I will update you when I'm back, or maybe in a few months. But yeah, that's what's happening here. Let's start repotting this plant. So I have here my pot, my self-watering pot, some moss, my pair of pruners, my plant, and the first thing that I have to do is remove it from this pot. The roots can attach to the pot, but I knew it wouldn't be the case because this plant has been so stressed that I was sure that I wouldn't have so many roots that they would be there. The thing about these Masdevallias is that I know that I have many growths and they are not all together because I have repotted before 1 year ago. It was my first Masdevallia, so I had no idea that it would be. I know that people say that's hard to grow and needs lots of humidity, but I didn't know that the problem would be to keep up with its watering. Honestly, it drinks water all the time. As you can see here, since I'm removing the old medium, removing the growths because I have some dead growths on the way. Some of them are just together. I have some longer rhizomes here. This one is one of them. I think these two, they are a little bit attached, so I'll keep them attached. Okay, so that's what I have in here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 growths. I have live roots, but I also have some roots that are not alive anymore. Not gonna do anything special. I've already cleaned these roots before. I think I had stewish thrips. I just sprayed it, and I decided to buy some insects that prevents thrips. I'll give you an update on it when I'm back, if it worked or not. So maybe you can try as well. I was almost bought systemic insecticide, but I went to the store and I was like, oh, this is for outdoors, not for indoors and everything. I was doing my research. Anyway, I didn't buy it. I was a little bit scared because my daughter is at home now, you know, and everything's so close to here. I have very small windows and everything. So I didn't use the systemic insecticide this time, maybe next time. So I do have live roots. I don't know if you can see from there, but they are alive because I'm watering these plants, let's say, and that's not even a lie, that's true. I'm watering these plants almost every day now. I need to water it almost every day. So I'll be away. It will die if I'm not here. So I said, no, let's do my job now. So what I'm gonna do now, I'm gonna put all of them together here, like so. My self-watering pot. I will, as I said already, and I'm saying again, I will add moss on this self-watering system. The good thing about moss, that moss will keep this very humid, and also moss has an amazing capacity, so water travels around all the pot. So this moss is pretty dry. The thing that you need to be careful with moss when you work with moss is not to compact it, because you can suffocate the roots. It won't happen because this moss is very dry. Let's see if they fit in here. The thing about Masdevallia, in my opinion, is that they do have thick roots and they have thick leaves, and that doesn't make any difference. They lose water like nothing. They transpirate a lot and they need a lot of humidity, because I notice with some plants, when they have very thin roots, thin leaves, usually they do need more water. It's not the case of Masdevallias. It's not the roots or the leaves. It still needs a lot of water and it has pretty thick roots and pretty thick leaves. It's different from the other things that I've seen before, but anyway, it is still alive and the roots are doing well. It's good. That's why it was drinking all of the water that I was placing inside the pot. So now I finished adding all the sphagnum moss. So I will add some slow release fertilizer here, and then I will place the last layer of bark. Some beads. So I have slow release of fertilizer on this pot. And also now let's add all the bark that I need over this pot. There we go. Almost there. I've never used this setup with any mature plant, only with some seedlings, because again, I have problems with a lot of moss with some of my plants with root rot, because here can be very humid. I have never had an orchid that drinks so much water like this one. So we are done. So I have here my tag. Let me remove the mess from here. Let's place it inside. And there we go. So the next step for me with this pot is fill it with water. And then hopefully I'll be able to keep this plant safely wet. And I won't need to water it every day. If I need to water it twice a week, it's amazing. It's like more than I could expect. Because before was a whole mess. Let's see. I don't know. I'll keep you updated. So that's my plant fully repotted. So what I'm gonna do now is I'll give it a good watering and I'll place it in my toilet where it sits. So just to conclude this video, even that we have our preferred setup, how to pot our plants and where to place our plants, do your research. Some orchids, they come from different parts of the world and they have different requirements, different needs. So if that's the case with your plant, just adapt your own technique to this plant. I think that's the key for everything that we grow. We can have something that we use from almost everything, but we always have some exceptions and some other plants that we need some special type of medium and pots and all of that. So that was it for today. I hope you have enjoyed this video. If you did, please hit the like button, leave a comment down below. I'd love to hear from you, and I see you soon. Bye bye.